So the past 72 hours in the league has been pretty crazy, with the trade deadline taking a massive shift this week, with monumental and all-time trades taking place. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. So Kevin Durant, as we all know now, has been traded to the Phoenix Suns. I already posted my initial reaction on YouTube. You can go look at that. But the full trade details follows as the Nets get Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 first-round picks and a pick swap. And the Suns get Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. So with the Suns acquiring Kevin Durant, this is probably the biggest trade of all time that I've seen, with just how great KD is as a player, just how good he is as a player, with the Suns being able to maintain keeping Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul, their core three, and still acquiring Kevin Durant in the process. It amazes me, and the Suns are looking pretty scary once they can get healthy. If they can stay healthy, because Devin Booker is on the slope of returning from his injury, and Kevin Durant is still out with his MCL sprain. But I do think that losing guys like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, it can hurt them, being that they lose some depth and they lose some defensive capabilities. With Mikal Bridges finishing second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Cam Johnson is a somewhat decent 3-and-D, and obviously Jay Crowder is a 3-and-D guy. So they lose some depth and some defense on that end. But I think Kevin Durant, with just how great of a player he is, I think that'll make up for it. Now, defense could play a part of it down the stretch, but I think that this team right here is so overwhelming that this is going to be a problem in the West, if I'm being honest. The second half of the season, the Suns are going to be a problem, and I could honestly see them going all the way just off of this trade alone. And as we know, for the Nets, with them getting Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder, and trading away KD, and after previously a couple days ago trading away Kyrie for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a couple of picks, it's quite obvious that they're flipping the switch and they're saying, okay, we're hitting rebuild mode. And my initial reaction at first was just, I felt like they could have got a lot more. I felt like they could have got way more for KD. I feel like they could have got an all-star, at least an all-star caliber player in return for KD. Same with Kyrie. I felt like they could have got some good depth with the Kyrie trade. They could have got a better trade with Kyrie, got some depth, and pair up with KD. But they didn't, and now it's obvious that they've traded away KD as well. So it's obvious that they're jumping ship and they're saying, okay, we're starting this over. This KD era as a Brooklyn Net, with James Harden originally and Kyrie Irving, and trading James for Ben Simmons and trying that three, and that's not working out, and with the dysfunction throughout the team, it's obvious that this was a failure, a monumental failure on the Brooklyn Nets' part. It's just as this whole ordeal was just a big underwhelming failure. Very disappointing. And for the Nets' future, they still have Ben Simmons on a max contract, and I think it's possible they trade Ben Simmons, but I see them most likely trading him in the offseason to get some even more picks, because right now they're loading up on picks, as they just traded away Jay Crowder for 5 second-round picks to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think the Knicks right now they're stacking up on picks, and they're just trying to prepare for the future. So moving on to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers traded away Russell Westbrook in a 3-team deal with the Timberwolves and the Utah Jazz. The Lakers received D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley. The Jazz get Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and a first-round pick. And the Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nickel Alexander-Walker, and 3 second-rounders. For the Lakers, it's obvious that they were looking to get off of Westbrook, whether it be trade him as soon as possible or just let him go in free agency this offseason. But they finally ended up trading him because it was obvious that pairing him up with AD and LeBron just wasn't working, and it was underwhelming and disappointing. So with them trading Russell Westbrook and bringing in a guy like D'Lo, who was once on the Lakers for a couple of seasons, who was drafted by them, and you got a guy like Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt is a guy who can rebound and play solid defense for you on your depth chart. And you got Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell, one of the better three-point shooters in the league, which has been probably your biggest flaw this year as a team, and they addressed that. I think this is a decent trade for the Lakers. They addressed some of their flaws. I think getting rid of Westbrook is kind of not necessarily a win, because how big of a failure the deal was with Westbrook, but they got what they could, and I think this was one of the better deals that they could have ended up with. And with this added depth and 3-point shot making ability, maybe they can go on an end of the year run with this last half of this season and potentially push themselves into a playing spot where they can probably, I can see them winning the game in the play-in and maybe making the first round. But after the first round, I don't see them. I don't think they have the continuity or the consistency right now to win a playoff series. So right now I think their ceiling right now is first round exit. But who knows, when you still got guys like LeBron James, and if AD can stay healthy, who knows what can happen. And for the Timberwolves, I think this trade addressed, because obviously D'Lo wasn't the point guard that they needed, because D'Lo isn't a true facilitator, a true natural point guard. So obviously that was one of their flaws. They didn't have somebody who can actually control and run their offense. But adding Mike Conley, who is on the older side of things, who's obviously not the same player he once was back in his Memphis days, or the same defender, but he can hit open shots, and he brings veteran leadership to that team. And he's a guy who can help guys like Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns get their shots off and help set them up and improve that offense. So I can see this being a decent trade for them. They did get some picks back. And for the Timberwolves, they maybe could push into the 8th or 7th spot if they could get healthy again and start winning games. I can see them being a tough team in the first round with just with Anthony Edwards and with Cat and them. I think they could be a tough team to beat in the first round. This addresses some of their needs, but obviously they still have some gaping flaws, which I think they'll address more prominently in the offseason. And for the Jazz, I think this trade was mainly just getting rid of Mike Conley. Mike Conley was on a pretty solid contract, so that frees up some cap space for them to make some moves this offseason. And now with them getting Westbrook, clear that Westbrook is going to be bought out, and Westbrook is going to be on the buyout market, which reports have come out that teams such as the Clippers or the Miami Heat are some teams that I've been seeing that are possibly intrigued with the idea of getting Russell Westbrook. So with Westbrook, I think Westbrook will be on the team by the end of this week. Westbrook, I just hope he'll find somewhere where he can fit in and thrive. Extremely thrive, especially compared to how bad of a situation that was with the Lakers. But that's where I'll end this one. I am aware that there are some more trades that took place that I did not include. If you would like to see the full recap of this trade deadline, go ahead and hit that link in the description, or go to our website at brownsportsreport.com and go look at our full recap of this year's trade deadline. So that's all we got for this one. Appreciate you.